In this video, I'm going to be guiding you on the Economics Internal Assessment for International Economics. This is for the International Baccalaureate. In the introduction, we are going to introduce the article and the concept. And in the analysis, we are going to analyze what happens before the tariff and after the tariff. For the evaluation, we are going to evaluate the effect on the tariff on domestic producers, foreign producers, and the government. And lastly, for the conclusion, we're going to provide a brief summary with a clear link back to the concept and relevance to the article. Now, the article is titled, Europe Hits China's Wind Industry with Anti-Dumping Duties. Europe has placed 19.2% on Chinese steel as governments seek to protect industries producing clean power equipment needed for the energy transition. Chinese firms have dumped about 300 million euros worth of wind towers, which are below market price. These anti-dumping duties will secure 3,600 jobs in a 1 billion euro industry. China's top tower, Titan Wind Energy, fell 6% in Shenzhen Monday as they faced 14.4% anti-dumping duties in Europe. The company intends to expand exports to non-EU countries instead. Demand in the domestic market has been high in recent years, so the importance of overseas market is even lower, said the CEO of China's top tower maker, Titan Wind Energy. So that's the article. Moving on to the commentary. Please be reminded that the text in blue font that are quoted are direct quotes from the article, and the word that is in bold in the purple highlight is the implementation of the concept. Europe has increased import tariffs up by 19.2% on Chinese steel wind turbine towers to protect domestic producers from dumping below the cost of production. The decision was made as governments seek to protect industries producing clean power equipment needed for the energy transition. The key concept is efficiency. Before the tariff, world supply set by the Chinese producers for wind turbine towers as China has comparative advantage in the industry. Figure 1 illustrates quantity demanded is Q4, where supplied is Q1. Thus, imports before the tariff is Q4 minus Q1. China covered the shortage in the market. This is harmful for European producers because Chinese firms have dumped about 300 million euros a year worth of towers at below market prices. This shuts down domestic firms. Tariffs lead to inefficient allocation of resources as it delays the shutting down of inefficient firms. Hence, the trade-off exists between low unemployment and achieving efficiency. So the 19.2% tariff will cause the world supply curve to shift upwards from SW to SW plus tariff, which increases the price of Chinese steel from PW to PW plus tariff. Hence, domestic quantity supplied increases from Q1 to Q2 as domestic producers have greater incentive to produce these goods at a higher price. Now let's see which part of the diagram we have utilized so far. So before the tariff, quantity demanded is at Q4 and quantity supplied is at Q1 and imports is Q4 minus Q1. So when the 19.2% tariff is implemented, SW increases to SW plus tariff. And as a result, price increases from PW to PW plus tariff. And the domestic quantity supplies increases from Q1 to Q2, as domestic producers has greater incentive to produce these goods at a higher price. However, quantity demand decreases from Q4 to Q3, which reduces the number of imports of Chinese steel wind turbines from Q4 to Q1 to Q3 to Q2. And as you can see from the diagram before, Q4 decreases to Q3. Domestic producers are better off as they receive higher revenue as they sell more goods at a higher price. This is represented in the region G plus H. Revenue after the tariff is CDGHI, and the producer surplus increases from regions G to G plus C. However, domestic consumers are worse off as they have to pay a higher price at reduced choices. The domestic goods may be inferior to the cheaper foreign goods of better quality. This results in inefficient allocation of resources. This can be shown by the change in consumer surplus from ABC, DEF to AB. Now let's go back to our diagram. So we've said that the revenue before the tariff is represented by the region GH, and after the tariff, CDGHI. So let's have a look. So the revenue before the tariff is price times Q1, which is indeed GH. Revenue after the tariff is PW plus tariff multiplied by Q2, which is CDGHI. So far, so good. And the producer surplus increases from region G to G plus C, and the consumer surplus reduces from ABCDEF to AB. So let's have a look at our diagram. So our producer surplus before the tariff was G, and the producer surplus after the tariff is C. And at the same time, our consumer surplus before the tariff is ABCDEF, and after the tariff, it's AB. Foreign producers are worse off as their revenues are decreasing. The change in revenue is represented as IJK to just J. They face 14.4% anti-dumping duties in Europe. However, these tariffs have little impact on Chinese companies, as demand in the domestic market has been high in recent years, so the importance of overseas markets are even lower. Therefore, the impact on these Chinese firms depend on the degree of necessity on the global market. The company will expand exports to non-EU countries, who will benefit from efficient allocation of resources. So this would mean that Chinese firms will be less likely to retaliate to minimize the impact of the tariff by increasing allocative efficiency elsewhere. So let's go back to our diagram. As the original revenue made from the Chinese companies before the tariff was I, J, and K, and after the tariff, J. Let's have a look. As the total quantity of imports are Q4 minus Q1, we simply multiply this by PW. This will get us the importer revenue, which is I, J, and K. And with a tariff, our new quantity of imports would be the difference between Q3 and Q2 at a price of PW plus tariff, meaning J is our new import revenue. It is difficult to determine whether unfair trading practices can be used by Chinese firms, as it is challenging to specify average total costs. Anti-dumping measures would reduce the international competition for domestic firms. This could result in inefficiencies, and it will lack incentive to develop technologies and reduce costs, thereby reducing productive efficiency. Governments are better off as they can earn tax revenue, shown by the region E. The tariff also benefits the EU as it will protect over 3,600 jobs in the wind industry, which is valued at €1 billion. This will decrease the need to provide unemployment benefits and enable the EU to spend its increased revenue elsewhere. Hence, region D and F represents deadweight loss, demonstrating how the implementation of the tariff can lead to allocative inefficiency and the global misallocation of resources. So going back to our diagram, E is the government revenue, as it is the difference between PW plus tariff minus PW, which gives us the 19.2% tariff. And the new imports after tariff is the difference between Q3 and Q2. This gives us E. And the deadweight loss is represented at D and F, which is our inefficiencies of the market. In conclusion, the tariffs on Chinese steel wind turbine towers protects domestic producers and is as it decreases international competition. Tax revenues can be raised and reinvested to reduce unemployment. However, this results in an opportunity cost as domestic customers are forced to pay higher prices for lower quality goods. The result is that it transfers the resources from the efficient Chinese producers to the inefficient domestic producers, which increases the level of inefficiency. Therefore, the EU should use multiple protectionist measures to protect domestic producers and minimize the impact on domestic customers, thereby leading to a more allocative, efficient market. I hope that helped. I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.